Hey, if you like my videos, you might also like my comedy series YouTube Blue, which premieres every Saturday on the YouTube Blue YouTube channel. Go check out the link in the description and the card above to watch the latest episode. Now on with the video. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today I am going to be going through my DC collection. So if you haven't seen it already and you like that kind of stuff on this channel, a week or two ago I posted a video going through my Doctor Who collection. So if you haven't seen that video, go check it. It has some flaws in it though. Like, for instance, I filmed it so late that the sun set as I was recording the video, and so the video progressively got darker. Also, I didn't know how to not do this so that the the recording volume would be even. So that video was kind of imperfect, but I've learned, people. I have learned from my mistakes, and hopefully I will not do that this video. I can't exactly promise that I won't accidentally turn the mic away from my mouth. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I'll try to make sure it doesn't happen, but maybe it will. But my point here is that this is going to be better. I'm filming earlier, so hopefully, if everything goes well, that sun won't set. But we'll see. Maybe it'll decide to set really early today. Or maybe it'll just get really, really cloudy and dark. We'll see. Maybe the universe doesn't want me to do this. But today I'm going to be going through everything in my DC collection. So that's going to include DVDs. I got a couple VHSs to show you as well as some toys and other collectibles that I have in my collection. So without further ado, let's get into it with the beginning of my DVD collection. Alright, my DC DVD collection starts with Superman, the 5-film collection, which is it's a really great DVD set. I would recommend. It has 5 Superman live-action movies in it, and it's like $15 on Amazon. I have a theory that this DVD came about because they had a bunch of Superman DVDs that weren't selling, so they just kind of put them in the same case and sold them as one. Like, if you look here, it has Superman the movie extended edition, and you can see it says disc 2 on it. So presumably they had like a collector's edition set of Superman the movie or something like that, that had a disc 2 that had an extended edition on it, and that wasn't selling, but the single disc cheaper Superman the movies were selling, so they took disc 2 and put it in here. It also has Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, which I guess wasn't selling as well as the main one, which is kind of a shame because I really like the Donner cut. And it also has Superman 3, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, and Superman Returns on it, which are all kind of not considered that great. I think Superman 3 is the worst one, because at least Superman 4 and Superman Returns are about Superman. So Superman 3 is the worst one in my opinion. Leave your thoughts down in the comments. But I got this for Christmas from my mom last Christmas, as in Christmas 2019, pre-COVID. So yeah, I'd recommend this set. It's, as I said, it's pretty cheap. You do get some special features, not a ton, but like these are like right from DVD sets. I think in all of them you do get deleted scenes and a commentary track. So it's good. Next up in my DVDs is something that I'm very proud to own, which is the Plastic Man, the Complete Collection. So Plastic Man, kind of an underrated superhero in my opinion. I love Plastic Man. He may just be my favorite DC character. That's right, I said it. And he had one cartoon in the late 70s, early 80s, created by Ruby Spears Productions, which, for those of you who don't know, so there's Hanna-Barbera, which was the giant of Saturday morning cartoons at the time, and then in the 70s, Joe Ruby and Ken Spears, who worked for Hanna-Barbera Productions, and they created Scooby-Doo, which is what that was like their most successful product there, but they did other stuff as well, and they sadly passed away last year, which was really unfortunate. But basically, they created Ruby Spears Productions in the 70s, and they bought the TV rights to Plastic Man. It's not super faithful. Like in the comics, Plastic Man works for the FBI, and he has a sidekick called Woozy Winks. and he has like various love interests. In this one, he might still work for the FBI, but he flies around the world in his Plasjet, and he has a new sidekick called Hula Hula, which is actually kind of the opposite of Woozy Wings, because in the comics, Woozy Wings has good luck superpowers, and Hula Hula has bad luck superpowers, which is kind of weird. And then he also has he has Penny, who is a stable girlfriend throughout it. Now, it ran for 2 seasons, and it was called the Plastic Man Comedy and Adventure Show, which was actually, it wasn't just these Plastic Man cartoons on the set. It was also, it also had other Ruby Spears cartoons at the same time packaged as like an hour-long show. And also they had a couple Plastic Man spin-offs that aren't included on this set, unfortunately. I don't even know if they have a DVD set, which is kind of unfortunate because I'm a huge Plastic Man fan. They had Plas Baby, where Penny and Plastic Man have a kid called Plas Baby that has plastic powers. And they also have the Plastic Family, which is Plastic Man, Penny, and Plas Baby. Kind of unnecessary if you ask me, but I haven't really seen it because it's not on DVD. But yeah, so this, I would recommend this if you're a Plastic Man fan. It has, 35 episodes across 4 discs. So maybe like, this isn't really the complete collection. I would like to see like Plas Baby and Plastic Family released on DVD. I guess this didn't sell well enough to warrant that, but I'm satisfied with this set just by itself. And it also has, as a special feature, along with some like behind-the-scenes featurettes and stuff about Plastic Man, it has the 2006 Plastic Man animated pilot that Warner Brothers Animation made that never got picked up. And has Tom Kenny. It's a great pilot. I think you can find it on YouTube, split into a couple parts right now as of the recording of this video. But if you want it on DVD, and when I got this set, it wasn't even on YouTube, get this set. And it's also pretty cheap. Like, I think it's like $20, maybe a little less than that. I don't know. I got this for Christmas a little while ago. But yeah. So next up on the DVDs, we got Batman and Batman Returns, the Tim Burton movies. I mean, all 4 of them are considered Tim Burton movies, but these were the ones actually directed by Tim Burton, and Tim Burton was actually like more involved with the process. I bought this back in like November. No, this past summer. Late in the summer, I went to Walmart for like the first time in months because of COVID. And I happened to see this, and it was like $10. And I do have Batman Returns on VHS, or I think I do. I couldn't find it when I was searching for stuff to put in this video, but it's there somewhere probably. But I mean, if I have lost it, now I have the DVD. But I got this because I didn't have the first Batman movie, and then I also get Batman Returns too, and it was like $10, so it wasn't that bad. I still haven't watched either of them. I haven't watched any of the Burton Batman movies actually, which some of you will be like, "What are you doing?" And I'll get to them. Maybe one day I can make like a fixed video on Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. We'll see. That's not a guarantee. Don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that. I didn't say I would do it. I said maybe. Alright, next on the list is Green Lantern First Flight. This is the only one of those direct-to-video animated movies I have. But this is really good. It's a solid origin story. It has Yellow Lantern Sinestro as the villain. Let's see. Who's in this? It has Christopher Maloney, Victor Garber, Trisha Helfer. I'm assuming that Christopher Maloney voices Green Lantern in this, but maybe he's just the most famous one. But yeah, it's a good movie. I got this at like a Dollar Tree. So like, because sometimes you can find like things like this for $1 there, which is a great deal, obviously. But yeah, I would recommend this movie, even if I had to pay like $2 or $3 for this, maybe even $4. So yeah, I don't know what that is. Big Nick there. I don't think I did that, but I mean, if I bought it like that, it's still $1, so it's whatever. And then we've got the other Green Lantern movie from 2011 on Blu-ray extended cut. I know. Is there a more unnecessary thing to have. I got this not long after it came out from my grandma, who's now passed away. So I do kind of, I knew this movie was bad. I didn't watch it until a couple years ago. But it is kind of sentimental that my grandma gave it to me. So yeah, I got, Ryan Reynolds is good in this. The problem I have with this movie, and maybe I'll make a fixed video on it at some point. Don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that. The problem I have with this movie is that it feels less like a movie and more like they took a Green Lantern TV show that had like 22-minute episodes and then edited together the first like 3 episodes and then like the last 2. Like the whole like first 2 acts, like the 3rd act just comes out of nowhere. The first 2 acts are like fine, I guess, and then the 3rd act just comes out of nowhere. It's crazy. But yeah, it's not horrible. I haven't seen the extended cut on this yet. I will eventually, probably, but I've only seen the theatrical cut. So yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend this, especially since it was $30. Can you imagine paying $30 for this movie? Sorry, Grandma, but I wouldn't do that now. But I'm glad that because of her, I never have to pay to see this trash movie. So thank you, Grandma, wherever you are. So next up on the list here, we got my first DC Extended Universe movie. I don't have Man of Steel, but I do have Batman v Superman. Now, very early on in my YouTube career, in terms of this channel, which was like a couple weeks in, I made a video essay kind of thing, which wasn't really an essay because I didn't script it, where I talked about how I actually kind of like this movie. And it's mainly because I didn't see it until years after it came out. And when I did, I watched it, I watched it, like with the expectations going in about what this movie was. I knew about the Jesse Eisenberg, Zuckerbergian thing, and so I could kind of enjoy it more. I knew the flaws and I could kind of roll with it, and that's why I think I like this more than a lot of people do. Plus, Zack Snyder, I think he's generally a good filmmaker, not that he doesn't have his missteps every now and then, and I'm excited to see the Snyder Cut, see if it lives up to this. I have not seen the Ultimate Edition. This is just the normal one. I currently have HBO Max, so maybe I'll check that out, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to spend 3 hours watching a movie I've already seen with some added footage rather than watch something brand new I haven't seen before I lose HBO Max. But yeah, so BVS. I got this at like Barnes & Noble for, it was marked as $6 and it was 30% off. So I paid $4 for this, which I think is a fair price for sure. I bought it because like it has the reputation of not being a good movie. So I bought it under the impression of, okay, well, if this movie sucks, I only paid $4 for it. So yeah, I do have a lot of other DC extended movies here. I have the last 3 of these DVDs here. Got Suicide Squad. I got this at, what was it? I got it I got it at the end of the summer, the same time I got the Batman Returns and Batman combo. In this movie, I got for like $10, which I don't know if I'd pay that much for this movie. But yeah, it's not a good movie. I'm looking forward to see if they do an IR cut. I did a whole video, if you haven't seen it, talking about how David Ayer's original vision for Suicide Squad ended up being destroyed over time. So check that out. I do have plans to make more IR cut videos, so yeah, check those out when they come out. Probably more after Snyder Cut comes out in a couple months, so stay tuned for those. And yeah, this movie isn't very good. My next fix video is going to be on this movie, and it's more of the like bigger thing of restructuring it a little bit, but I'm going to try and keep as much of the original like basic plot of this that I can. But it has a lot of issues. And then I got a couple movies that I swear I got like 3 movies when I did this, but maybe I'm just miscounting here. But I was at Walmart in like November around Christmas time, and they had like a section where they had for like $3.99 a bunch of movies, and some of these were a couple DC movies that I hadn't seen before, and I thought I'd pick up. First being Justice League. Again, I paid $4 for this. Maybe that's too much. I don't know. But I haven't watched it since I got this DVD. Wait, hold on. I'm missing one. Oh, yeah, that's it. I also got Wonder Woman in that, and I have it lent out to a friend right now. So I don't have it with me, but I do have it. I think that's a good movie. I don't think it's incredible, but I think it's really good. Honestly, like, the biggest thing I've heard people complain about is the third act not being very good. I actually kind of like the third act. I don't think it really comes out of nowhere or anything. It's not perfect, but I don't think it's horrible. So back to Justice League. This movie, I'll probably make another video or two talking about like how this became this and not the Zack Snyder version. And it's a really interesting story. But yeah, I just bought this so that I could rewatch it before the Snyder Cut comes out, to see like the differences, to kind of, like if I just go into the Snyder Cut, maybe I wouldn't appreciate it as much as if I watched this train wreck, which I haven't seen since the theaters, 3 years ago. So yeah, Justice League. And then last but not least here for the DVDs, we got Shazam, the David F. Sandberg movie. I haven't seen it yet. But I also got it there for $4. I'm looking forward to it. One of these days, I'll have to crack this baby open and check it out. Or I have until 2023 to watch it. Or if they end up making Black Adam in 2022, I'll probably watch this before that. Even though I don't think this movie will have that much of an impact on Black Adam, besides just giving a little bit of context as to who Black Adam is in terms of like his powers and like the history of the Shazam powers and things like that. Alright, then we got some VHS tapes. Again, I do have Batman Returns somewhere, but I couldn't find it. I got that from a friend of mine a while ago who was getting rid of their VHS tapes. And here we got Batman Forever, Joel Schumacher, who recently passed away, like this past summer, I think. And the ironic part was, not to overshadow his death or anything, but like he passed away like a week or two after Zack Snyder's Justice League was announced. And after Zack Snyder's Justice League was announced, the fandom kind of blew up with everybody like suddenly being like, it worked, we got the Snyder Cut. Let's find every single DC movie, let's find every superhero movie that could possibly have like another cut to it, and let's demand that we're gonna get that. And that's when like the David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad starting to pick up steam. And then there were other people saying we should get a Trank cut of Fantastic Four, which maybe I'll make a video about that at some point. And then there were people saying that we should get the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever, because basically this movie was supposed to be darker apparently, and Warner Brothers wanted it less dark, so there were some darker scenes cut out of this that they wanted Schumacher to put back in. I don't really see the point. This is Joel Schumacher's movie, guys. It's not like it's completely different. There were a couple of like scenes that are supposedly cut out that don't seem necessarily darker, maybe a little bit, but I mean from the beginning this was supposed to be kind of light. Besides, now Schumacher can't exactly make this cut by himself, so yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath on a Schumacher cut. But yeah, then we got Batman. I haven't seen any of the Burton movies again, and I got that from a nearby thrift store for like $1, and then I got this one also for $1 from a different thrift store, Batman and Robin, which again haven't seen. I'm looking forward to it in a weird way. Like I kind of want to see what all the fuss is about in terms of how bad this thing is, but I'll just have to wait and see. So that's all my home media for DC. Now let's talk about some like books and action figures and things like that. So for books and comic books and figures and stuff, I don't have a whole lot of stuff for DC. I got a couple Plastic Man things. I got this action figure, which I actually got from James, who's on my comedy series YouTube Blue. Link in the description. But yeah, he got this for me for a Christmas present a while ago, and it looks really good. I think this is for the Justice League Action cartoon series, which I haven't seen, but apparently Plastic Man appears in a couple episodes of that, and this is actually a really good figure. Theoretically, at least, a Plastic Man action figure would be the most accurate action figure of all time, if for no other reason than the fact that Plastic Man is made out of plastic, and the action figure is made out of plastic. So, yeah. His hair looks really nice, and he actually has extending neck action, which is pretty cool. But yeah, thank you, James. And then I also got this Plastic Man comic book, which I got at a kind of flea market a few years ago. I think this was a few bucks. I mean, it's just your run-of-the-mill comic. A lot of people obviously talk about all those comics that have like these fiendish supervillains, but like, I mean, Plastic Man doesn't have a ton of huge arch enemies. He has like Carrot Man and Dr. Dome and a couple others, but like a lot of superheroes, he has tons of issues where he's just kind of fighting robbers and things like that. And that's what this issue is, but it's really nice. I think this was from the late 70s. From the Plastic Man. This was one of the original. This is technically volume 2. The numbering is really weird because basically, so Plastic Man started out in Quality Comics as part of Police Comics. He was the main hero of that. And I don't think, well, maybe he did. I don't think he ever had his own series from Quality Comics. But basically, in the early 50s, Quality Comics, because it only had a couple big properties, ended up falling into bankruptcy and selling all their characters to DC. And then in the late 60s, some companies were interested in doing Plastic Man cartoons. And so because of that, DC made a Plastic Man comic series, which lasted like a year or so, maybe 2. Before they canceled it, just because they were making it because the cartoon was happening, and the cartoon didn't end up happening. But then in the late 70s, they brought it back. But weirdly enough, like that original Plastic Man comic series was called Volume 2, and this is still part of Volume 2. There was never a Volume 1. It's weird, but yeah. I love having this in the collection. And then the last piece I have other things that either I've like lost or maybe I'll find them one day, mostly like toys from when I was a kid. But the last thing I have is this book, which isn't very good. It's called Superhero Society, Detention of Doom. And yeah, it's all right. It's not very good. It's basically Superhero Society. It's like all the Justice League characters, but they're like middle schoolers or something. And in this one, I think they went to like the Phantom Zone or something. Can't remember exactly for what. But yeah, I remember the story behind this book. I didn't buy it. Basically, when I was in like middle school and elementary school, and I think they still do it. I mean, not now because of COVID, but they'll probably, they've done it the past few years, and they'll probably do it next year once things are safe. But basically, they have this thing called the book swap, which is if you have books that you've read and you don't really want to reread, and there are flaws to the system, but the general idea is alright. You take those books, you donate them to the book swap, and then at the end they put all the books they've collected out, and for every book you donated, you get to take one book from the book swap. And basically, when I was in middle school, they had like this contest where you could put your name in for a drawing, and in each grade, I think I was in 8th grade at the time, they would draw a name, and if your name was drawn, then you would get a free brand new book, which I chose this because I was into superheroes, and then a couple other perks. And I realized, you know what, I don't mind those like prizes, but I don't think anybody else in my grade really is that interested in it. So I put in my name and I won. Obviously, I wouldn't have told you that entire story just to tell you, oh yeah, and I didn't win, but I ended up getting this anyway. Yeah, so I won because I was probably only one of a few people who put their name in for the drawing. And yeah, I picked this book. It wasn't very good, but it's a free book. So yeah, and that's everything for DC. Again, I've had other things in the past. Maybe one day I'll make an update video with like some new stuff I've gotten since now, and also maybe talking about some stuff I found since now that I've had for a while. But for now, that's all for DC. I'm actually recording back to back today, hopefully, unless the sun sets really quickly, which I don't think it will. I think we're getting to the point where it's starting to set a little later. And that is, I'm going to be doing back to back other collection videos for Marvel and Power Rangers. So stick around. Next week, I'm going to be doing Marvel, and the week after that is Power Rangers. So stay tuned for those. I got tons of news, I got tons of stuff to show you guys from my collection and tell you all about like my opinions on them and the history behind them. So yeah, stick around for that. Don't forget to subscribe for daily videos on the franchises you love, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.